Ladies and gentlemen, doing hard drugs in the state of Oregon is now legal. You don't have to worry about you doing your hard drugs and going to jail. See, the only reason why this is happening because see, when the face of the drug addict looks like them, then nobody should go to jail for drugs. It's a public health issue, and nobody should really go to jail. I'm going to go ahead and play this audio for you. And this is from KATU to ABC.
Oregon is now the first state in the country to decriminalize hard drugs after voters approved Measure 110. K2's Genevieve Rayom is live in downtown Portland. And Genevieve, so this changes what happens when people are caught with drugs like meth, heroin, and cocaine, right?
Exactly, Angelica. And to be clear, this is not making those drugs legal, but what it does is that it removes the criminal penalty for non-commercial personal possession of those hard drugs. Now, we are here also outside the Justice Center because upstairs in the Justice Center is the jail. And what Measure 110 does, instead of sending people who are caught with those hard drugs to jail, it pushes them towards treatment. It establishes addiction recovery centers and is partly funded by the state's marijuana tax revenue. The measure did have some major opposition, though. Opponents say this measure will do nothing to change access to treatment for those caught with drugs, many adding Oregon is not ready to decriminalize hard drugs. The executive director of Oregon Recovers told us that although the goal of this measure is to move people out of the criminal justice system and into the healthcare system here in Oregon, he says, is not ready for that move. At this point, I've just checked the results online, and it looks like 58% of people voted to pass this measure, with 41% voting against it. Live here in downtown Portland, Genevieve Rayom, K2
Yeah,
News.
people across the country are going to be talking about this one today. Genevieve, thank you.
Okay, so as you see, so what they essentially have done is if you get caught with these drugs, you should get health care. You should not have to go to jail. Interesting, isn't it? So this is the first of its kind in the country. So if you get caught with meth, heroin, the really hard drugs, and what they're saying is now you won't be caught up in the criminal justice system if you get caught with these things. So what they're trying to do is, they want to establish an addiction recovery center and open up a bunch of resources to people that are fighting with drug addiction. So it also decriminalized non-commercial possession of most drugs. But while much of the agreement in principle, opponents of the measure said it would destabilize the recovery efforts already in place. Yeah, because there's no consequences for doing drugs now. So why, people are going to start rationalizing that and say, well, why should I go for a recovery? I'm not going to get in trouble for doing drugs anyway, so I'll just do drugs. Screw recovery. I don't have to go through that. I won't get in trouble. All right, so they're saying they support decriminalization. The notion that people are criminalized because they suffer from the disease of addiction is just fatally flawed. Really? You didn't have that attitude during the crack epidemic? It was the right thing to do to throw all of these people in jail that are still sitting there, still sitting in jail from the crack epidemic, y'all. That wasn't flawed. It is the consequence of both the war on drugs and the stigma assigned to addiction. Yeah, see, now they're conceding that the war on drugs is a failure. Well, hell, we told you that, 20, 30 years ago, that war on drugs was a joke. Especially the way y'all were doing it. So anyway, back to this. So in effort to address the war on drugs, Measure 110 undermines our efforts to end Oregon's addiction crisis. Opponents behind the vote No on Measure 110 website and its advocates said the ballot measure does nothing to change issues with access to treatment. Their goal is to move people out of the criminal justice system and into healthcare, as you heard on the video. But the healthcare system, they said, right now is not ready to deal with all of these folks that are addicted to drugs, and they are behind bars right now. So there you go. Oregon has officially decriminalized some of the most hardest drugs on the street. Y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.